Hey there, if anyone knows me, you'll know I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I figure today is the official release of Star Wars Squadrons, so we will check it out. I haven't watched the video. I've been trying to avoid spoilers, as I normally do with Star Wars stuff. I've signed out of Facebook for weeks before to avoid spoilers with the new movies. So I was thinking about this game, and I was thinking about the two things that I would really like to see in a space combat game, and one would be original trilogy content, because I still think it's probably the best of the Star Wars universe or whatnot. It had the best fights in space, that's for sure. End of episode 4, end of episode 6. And then another thing you probably want to see in a space combat game is like a really solid single player campaign. I actually back in the day played X-Wing v TIE Fighter, and I think that had a 15 mission campaign for both Imperials and Rebels, and just to prove it, I have jumped to light speed, the first expansion for Galaxies, and this had a ton of content in it, and space upgrades and all that as well. The space combat in the more recent MMO was a bit poor, especially the on-rails section. So yeah, without any further ado, we're going to jump in and check out Star Wars Squadrons. Alright, here we go. So, I guess this is a CG trailer, because the first thing I'm thinking is like, is it VR? Because you can look around within a cockpit.
I can't shake him.
So probably not going to get to see any gameplay, I guess. Which is what I was hoping to see, I guess.
Think you can escape?
This is gonna be close.
So the S-Files got locked in speed position, I guess. So we have an asteroid field. What did I just say? Oh, and those cruisers look sort of like episode 1 to 3.
You are the Empire's strength. We do not accept defeat.
Oh, so we are going to get some sort of single player, hopefully.
Remember why we fly. For hope. For the New Republic.
Okay, New
Vengeance
Republic.
will be ours.
So it's post episode 6 then, I guess. You missed a beat, you should have got Luke back and just made it around episode 6. I think that's Wedge, right? And Wedge is young.
When the perfect shot makes history.
5 pilots.
1 squadron.
The Galaxy's
Yeah,
finest.
Red 5. I'm sure there was a higher number than Red 5.
Lock has foils in attack position.
What would be actually really cool is if someone was playing was actually on the bridge of the Star Destroyer. That would be cool. They could shoot. So it's launching in February next year. I'm not sure what I just saw. So we saw some really cool CG where they were flying through an asteroid field, and then we saw some sort of Rebel Alliance table with like a mission, like almost like the rebels are. They have it in every movie, right? The rebels are always around the little table, and they're always trying to work out how to win. I mean, because it's after episode 6, that maybe makes it interesting. And yeah, they didn't really do too much in the new movies about the New Republic. Like, they just wiped them out, right? Like, it was just like a throwaway line in episode 7 where like the Star Killer planet, whatever it's called, it blew up like all the planets at once. Like, it Death Starred them all at once. But it was such a throwaway scene that like I guess just to reset the timeline. So this is maybe going to fill in some of the void, I guess. And then the thing about the 5 at the end makes me think like you have a close-knit squad and you go on missions together. It sounds interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and read a bit more about this right now, actually. then I'm going to cut to it, and I'm going to give you some other thoughts. A bit confusing. It says first-person multiplayer. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever heard them called that before. Like, it's a game where you pilot an X-Wing or a TIE fighter, right? Like, but it does say it's a single-player story. But then it also seems to mention that the 5 people in your squad are your friends? Like, compete in intense 5v5 multiplayer dogfights or unite with your squadron to tip scales in monumental fleet battles. So I guess maybe there's a single player story. That would be cool. If there, maybe EA have finally learned that the single player is like super important, especially for Star Wars fans, right? Like, I still hold like Battlefront 2 from 2005 as one of the best, where it was like you played through the whole of Order 66, or you played through a good portion of the Clone Wars, then Order 66, and then you joined like the 501st Invaders. That game was so good. I probably actually need to go back and play it again, because yeah, it just blew. I think that the bar was so high with that game when Battlefront came out with like just multiplayer, and it was missing a lot of features, and it had, you know, that's why I guess, like, as beautiful as the Battlefront 2015 was in terms of graphics and gameplay was good, it was just missing that. So yeah, this actually sounds really fun. Sorry I got the date wrong, because obviously we're in UK and the date was 10/2, whereas it should be 2/10, so it was the 2nd of October this year. So, and it's going to fill in right after the Galactic Civil War finished. So yeah, it's an interesting unknown time period at the moment, right? Like 20 years ago when I was a kid growing up, Thrawn was the leader of the Empire at this point in time after the destruction of the second Death Star. And if you don't know Thrawn, then there was a great trilogy about him, and also there's like 6 new books now, or I think I've read 1.5 of them, but yeah, they're doing 2 trilogies, one about Thrawn when he joins the Empire, and one about Thrawn, like his origin story before he joined the Empire. I guess maybe like it's going to be in the outer regions. So we're in the New Republic era, and it's a 5-man multiplayer, definitely, potentially 5-man single player co-op, I'm not sure. It says on the website that there's a lot of different ships to pilot, and you can get upgrades, but it doesn't mention anything about like a capital ship, which, like I said in the trailer, like, when are we going to get a game when you're on the capital ships actually shooting the turbo lasers or something? That would be very cool. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me on another video, and if you enjoyed this, please like and consider subscribing, and I will continue to do more content like this if it's well received. Alright, peace.